Hi, this is Paul Harris at InfoComm 2021 for Aurora Multimedia, and I'm pleased to announce the new IPX UC1 Ultra. So bear with me, this is going to be a mouthful, everybody. So this is our new unified communications product line, and as you can see here, we got a nice beautiful OLED screen that gives you all the statuses of the menus and everything that's going on. What makes this thing exciting is it is a full transceiver product that can do 10 gig over one cable in both the transmit and the receive direction at the same time. In addition, it has the ability to do H.264 or H.265 encoding and decoding over the same cable at the same time. So this is a full multi-input transceiver. At its base, it's got quad-core scalars that can do 4K 60 444. So this is going to be a great solution for solving local as well as remote functions when you're doing Zoom rooms, Teams, WebEx, etc. So one of the things that it has in it from the base is a 7x4 internal matrix scalar switcher. That allows you to have an input card that can have up to 4 inputs, and we have a few varieties of input cards. One of those is 4 HDMIs, another one is USB-C, you can power loop through up to 100 watts with the secondary power connector, so you can use one cable to power the laptop and feed in the content. A display port, an HDMI, and a 12G SDI. We also have another version where instead of the 12G SDI, we added another HDMI for those who don't want the SDI. We have 2 HDMI outputs on this as well that can be independently scaled and switched to. Internally, one of the other scalars goes to the SDVUE, and it has a PC built into it. So it's using a Lakehurst processor with a 1 terabyte SSD drive in it. So that will allow you to run Windows or Linux. And dual monitors coming out of it feed back into the switch along with dual NIC cards. So you can actually separate that on here. This box can also do 10 gig over copper, 10 gig over fiber, and if you're doing it over the copper, the fiber can also be used as a secondary 1 gig port, so that way you can have 2 1 gig ports on this box in addition to the 10 gig. We have the audio breakouts. We have Dante, capable of 2-channel or 8-channel. I told you this is going to be a mouthful. I'm not even done yet or close to being done yet. It's got a quad windowing processor built into this, so we could window locally, combine it, send it to different outputs as well as over the remote stream. Even though it's got 7 inputs and 4 outputs locally inside the box, however, because it's SDVUE, we can link up our 2-gang or 3-gang SDVUE-based products using 10 gig. We have the ability to use our other boxes to expand upon it. So unlike other typical presentation scalar switches, this one is expandable based on how many units you have out there. So you can share content with rooms, and you're minimizing the amount of connections, because normally people use a connection for transmit and a connection for receive. In this case, we're only using one connection for both directions, which simplifies the install. So other fun things it could do is test pattern generators, independent of each channel, OSD generators for inputs and outputs, contrast edge blending for side-by-side projectors, chroma keying. It can also do waveform analyzer, vector scope, histogram, image rotation, up to 16 by 16 video walls, 1 degree image rotation, so you could do pinwheels or do vertically rotated video walls at any degree angles. So yeah, this thing's a mouthful. It does a lot. We even have an NPU option for it, where we could do artificial intelligence that we bring over from our Tavis platform. So we could see how many people are in the room. We could do, for digital signage applications, we could do gender prediction, ethnicity, age range, and then determine what content can be played out based on it. It also has a control engine built into it for reacts as well. We even have an NDI option that's going to be available for this one too. Like I said, a mouthful. This really is the product that does everything. So now that I've given you all these bullet points, well, what do I do with this thing? Everything, anything from a room perspective. And here's a great application note, especially for colleges and corporations. Normally when you do a Zoom call, as an example, whether it's Teams, Zooms, WebEx, you have to choose whether you're going to look at the content at their quality of resolution as well as the presenter. And you can only do one or the other, and the other one becomes small. When you're the remote person, that becomes difficult to take notes and to see what the presenter's doing relative to the content. So what this product does is, for the people who are local, you can actually see the content in perfect image quality locally here in the room. However, on the remote end, you get to see the high quality image. So what you're going to do is you're going to do the zoom. We can feed in a 4K camera right into it. It's got, I forgot to say this also, a USB Type-C 3.1 connector that feeds back into the processor, by the way. So you take that feed in the Zoom call. Now what you do is you then take the stream of the content and you create a secondary stream like an H.264, for example, and you send it to a website. Now, remotely, you take Edge browser, and you'll see why I'm picking Edge for a reason. And now what you're going to do is you're going to feed that to your second monitor in a browser, or one big monitor, you split it up. And now you're watching in full screen the person who's doing the presentation. On the second one, you're seeing the content at the quality of image you chose to broadcast it at through the H.264. And now through Edge, you can annotate with the whiteboard functions in it. You can record it. You can take snapshots. So now as a student or as a remote worker, you can see the content in a higher resolution and a higher quality while seeing the presenter without reducing it into a smaller box and taking notes and annotating. So that's just one application example of many that this thing could do, aside from video walls and windowing and local in the rooms. But you get the point. It is a very capable unit at a very cost-effective price, and it combines 12 different products into one slick unit that is lightweight, can mount under desks, and it simplifies the entire process and solves problems that people are having in today's day and age. And that is the IPX UC1 Ultra, which can be found at www.auroramm.com. And thank you for your time and that long-winded explanation.